Hi, my name is Andrew, and this is my story. California is very fast-paced, so you just have a lot of people from different areas just always moving, going. As a kid, I didn't really realize, what I was actually experiencing, and California was pretty much all I knew, so I didn't really have anything to compare it to for a while. Um, but now that I've kind of been around to different places and stuff like that, I've really realized just how fast-paced it is and just how people kind of keep to themselves. One thing about California that I never really liked was just I felt like it was so competitive. Everyone was always trying to one up the other person. There wasn't really a sense of like we're doing this together. It was more like I'm gonna do it the way I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna leave you in the dust kind of thing. So yeah, it's very fast-paced. It's pretty stereotypical. I mean, you got the beach, you got the big cities, you got the beautiful weather, and that's California in a nutshell. Honestly, it's a little overrated in my opinion, but if that's what you're about, then go for it. This worship thing kind of like fell into my lap. It was kind of something that I was not expecting at all. It actually started. I started getting guitar lessons from Tyson Morlett, who's actually the worship leader here, back when I was 14 years old, and long story short, he was doing a EP for the youth worship team, and they were doing like 4 songs, and he invited me out there just to kind of check it out and experience it all. It was my first time in like a recording studio, and so it was pretty cool. What ended up happening was the person who was supposed to do vocals for the EP, I guess, just really wasn't cutting it, and Tyson asked if I wanted to kind of jump in there and give it a shot. And I think the song that we were doing was Take It All by Hillsong United. We were doing a cover of it. And from that point on, I realized that I was able to hold out a melody. And Tyson realized that too, and he just started investing in me nonstop. He, at the time, was the worship leader for the youth team. And he kind of brought me under his wing. And since then, I had just been taking over ministries that he was leading. Took over the middle school youth team. And then eventually he moved on to high school, and eventually I took over the high school. He went to college ministry, and I started leading with him at college ministry. And then one Sunday I was asked to go on main stage for a youth Sunday, and I feel like that's when things really changed. I was asked to play on the main services more often, and then one thing just led to the next, and here I am now 10 years later working for him still, and it's a dream come true in Austin, Texas, so it's been awesome. So yeah, Tyson hit me up probably about 8 months before we actually moved out here. Hit me up, said he had some people moving around at the church and was wondering if I was interested. And at the time, I was trying to get my real estate license in California. My parents have been doing real estate for the last 10, 12 years. So I was just thinking, I'm going to hop on the family business. Didn't really know what I was passionate about. I knew I loved doing music, but I didn't know if I could make a career out of it or if it was something that God was even calling me to. So at the time, I was a server at Chili's working on getting my real estate license, and I just told him I was newly married. I was just like, bro, it's not the time. A lot of crazy things going on in life right now. I just don't think it's the time for me to pick up my stuff and move with my wife to Texas. So I actually shut him down the first time, and then he ended up calling again a couple months later, and I guess some more things moved around, and we had a different opportunity for me to work at Shoreline, and I was very close to finishing my license, and I was just committed to it. So again, I shut him down, and he was pretty hurt. He was really surprised. He thought I was going to hop on that for sure. But then he ended up leaving me a voicemail while I was at work, and I remember going outside, acting like I was going to take a little break real quick, and I listened to the voicemail, and he's just like, okay, bro, I know this is getting aggressive at this point, but I have one more opportunity for you. I might be able to get your wife in the mix too. Maybe there's a job opening for her. So at that point, I was like, man, maybe I should consider this. So I talked to Sam about it, and we basically told Tyson that if you can fly us out there and help us, have an opportunity to experience the church, see what we'd be getting ourselves into, I would definitely consider it. And I was towards the end of getting my license, but I was realizing that it probably isn't what I'm passionate about, and I probably could have gone through with it and did it for a while, but I feel like I would have gotten to a point where I wouldn't have been really happy. So anyways, we came out here in July of 2016. So last year in July, and we were praying about three things that we wanted God to show us. And by the end of our trip, all three things had been confirmed. It was crazy. I remember laying in bed with Sam and just realizing that this was going to be happening, that we were going to be moving to Texas, we were going to be leaving my family. I'm really close to my siblings. I have two younger siblings, so it kind of just hit me really hard in that moment that I was going to be separated from them. My brother's in high school, and I always thought that I'd be with him in those days, and just helping him through the days of high school and stuff, because I know it can be challenging sometimes. But anyways, so here we are now. We've been here for about a year and 3 months, and it has just been absolutely amazing. I've loved every single day of it, and I've really learned a lot about myself. Sam and I have learned a lot about each other, and it's been an awesome journey so far. So I know my journey has just begun. I know that I'm definitely still in the thick of it. One reminder for me is what I have on my arm. It's a compass, and it is a symbol of God just constantly guiding me, directing me, showing me direction. And it's actually over some waves, because life gets rocky sometimes, and you just feel like you're constantly being tossed by waves. And it's a reminder to me that throughout the chaos of life, God will still lead me and direct me. Throughout my life, I've been just blessed with people that God has placed in my life that have encouraged me, that have helped me throughout my journey. One of my biggest supporters is definitely my wife, Samantha. She's just always there. She knows exactly what to say. She can read me like a book, which is good and bad sometimes. But I have a Rose for her. Her middle name is Rose. So just to have my two biggest supporters, I got God and my wife on my arm as a constant reminder that I'm not alone in the journey. One of the bands that Sam and I really connected on was a band called S1E1, and they have a song, and one of the lyrics in the song is "No one will do but you," and it was one of those songs that I would just always play in the car for her, and on that part specifically, I'd always look at her and sing it to her. So I actually got the acronym on my arm. It's something that we've been saying to each other for as long as we've been dating, back when we were 16 years old. We have like little hashtags on it on Instagram. No one will do but you. So I decided to get it tattooed on myself, and I think she's planning on doing it pretty soon too. But yeah, it's different. At first glance, it looks like a word, but then people are like, "What does that say?" Nabade? And so it's always fun telling people the story behind it. I really just want to thank the people that have invested into my life. People like Tyson, Samantha, obviously my family, and the Shoreline family. Sam and I came here, and we were not expecting the community that we received. And I really think that all of that just paints a picture of God's faithfulness in my life. And I'm just incredibly grateful for everything that He's done so far. And I'm excited to see where He's going to take me and my family in the future. My name is Andrew, and that is my story.